Right now, you might already be celebrating the time-honored tradition of soaking up all the scary movies you can handle this spooky Halloween season. And if so, the Fear Street trilogy is a must for your Scream streaming queue. The films give screen life to the creepy world of R.L. Stine's beloved teen books, bringing audiences to the cursed town of Shadyside, which has been the site of generations of grisly murder sprees. Watch out! Spoilers ahead! The Fear Street trilogy doesn't waste any time in offering up some spine-chilling scares. Part 1 introduces us to Heather, a witty bookstore cashier who loves a good horror novel. At first, things seem normal as the mall closes up. But then, things take a terrifying turn. First, her store's security gate won't fully close. Then, when Heather goes back inside to clean up, she discovers she's got some unexpected company.
Hello? Okay, very funny, asshole. I'm spooked, okay? You win. Right?
The scene is full of close calls, near escapes, and relentless scares. Every time you think Heather is going to make it, the killer appears from the shadows, relentlessly pursuing her until the grisly end. As if all of that weren't ghastly enough, Heather unmasks the killer in the middle of the attack and discovers that it's none other than her own friend Ryan who's responsible for all this sudden carnage. Another scene that's bound to give you nightmares also involves Ryan Torres, in a way at least. After the mall massacre, the whole town of Shadyside is rocked again, and the rivalry with the neighboring town of Sunnyvale reaches an all-time high. This bitter feud leads to a car accident, and a teen named Sam ends up bleeding on the side of a remote road. That's when she inadvertently bleeds on the buried body of the Shadyside witch Sarah Fear and unknowingly unleashes undead hell in her former hometown. Shortly after the automobile accident, Sam's ex-girlfriend Dina takes her friends and her brother Josh to the hospital and has a fiery fallout with Sam, only for the Skull Mask killer to make another sudden appearance. Is there anything scarier than being chased by a killer through a hospital filled with bodies? Not much can top that. But believe it or not, this terrifying scenario gets even worse with a chilling reveal.
Hey, you can't wear that mask. What are you...
Not only is this a murderer they're dealing with, but he's also a zombie murderer. Add that one to your list of nightmare creatures. Ryan isn't the only killing corpse guaranteed to give you goosebumps in Fear Street. While Sam and Dina try unsuccessfully to convince a police officer about what they just witnessed at the hospital, their friend Simon is greeted by another of the town's most notorious killers, who's inexplicably returned to reality.
Hey, are you okay? Do you need help? What the?
Just as his friends realize he's no longer with them, Simon finds himself being pinned down in the middle of the road, helplessly flailing as this girl, who's later revealed to be the vintage mass murderer Ruby Lane, prepares to slash him to pieces.
Simon, come on!
Let's go!
Come on!
Sam, come on!
Perhaps the scariest moment of all in Fear Street Part 1 comes near the end of the film, after the teens have discovered that multiple killers from the town's history have come back, and all of these ghouls are after Sam. Upon discovering that the lone survivor of a previous summer camp slaughter made it out alive after dying and being revived, they decide that killing Sam is the only way to save her. In this intense climactic scene, the teens take shelter in a grocery store while Dina tries to stop Sam's heart. Unfortunately, they aren't fast enough to stop Shadyside's most notorious. They hold out as long as they can, but as the killers appear one by one and start gruesomely dispatching the group of teens, things get real bloody real fast. Even amid all the carnage though, there's one particular moment in the scene that will linger in your subconscious forevermore. Good luck looking at the bakery all the same after this horrifying sequence. There are tons of scary moments in Fear Street Part 2, which takes us back to 1978's notorious Camp Nightwing massacre. One scene that's bound to creep into your worst dreams from this installment comes when Alice discovers a giant pulsating blob in the caves beneath the camp. Alice is compelled to reach out and touch this monstrosity as it whispers her name. And immediately, she's hit with some of the most ghastly visuals imaginable, turning what was already a spooky trek through the cave into a full-on nightmare. Another Part 2 scene that's bound to get burned into your memory comes when Cindy and her sister Ziggy are simultaneously drawn to the mess hall and run into Tommy, the Nightwing killer. Even after Cindy manages to put a knife in Tommy's back, their relief doesn't last long. The Nightwing killer might be dead, but he's not done with them yet.
Shadyside.
Cindy beheading him with a shovel only delays matters, and as Ruby Lane and other Shadyside killers begin literally crawling out of the woodwork, the tension is at full tilt. It all leads up to a terrifyingly epic showdown, with the Berman sisters trapped by a legion of murderous ghosts. Some horror movies dial back the horror at the end by letting a hero get away. Not Fear Street Part 2. Once this terror starts, it doesn't stop. Like the first two films, Fear Street Part 3 had some downright devastating moments. Set largely in 1666, this final installment finally reveals the true origins of the curse on Shadyside, and the real story behind Sarah Fierce's trial and execution for witchcraft. One of the most horrific moments in the entire series comes when we get to witness the aftermath of the very first mass murder event in the town. It begins with a moment of mass panic as the people in town realize that their pastor, Cyrus Miller, has trapped many of their children in his church. Upon breaking through the barricade, Solomon Good makes a shocking discovery that simply cannot be unseen.
Cyrus.
I can see now. I can see everything.
As the parents race in to find their children, it's pretty much the stuff of anyone's worst nightmares. Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.